Right folks, so welcome back to another video. As you know, on this channel I do like a good old high mileage project. There's something pretty cool about a car that's been used properly, especially a performance orientated one. But I think this one tops the tree. It's a Caddy van with 490,000 miles on it. Yes, that's correct. You can double check the MOT history. The reg is over there. It's a 66 plate, which in the UK, it means it's a 2016 van. It's also ULEZ compliant, which makes it even more insane. I feel like it's done all the mileage on a dyno. How does someone drive that much? Who knows? Now, before we go ahead and do a little walk around of the van, I thought I'd give you a little backstory to how it came into my possession. Basically, the main gist of it was it came up in auction as a non-runner. I've not got access to those auctions because I'm not a car trader, but I've got a few friends who are. And they basically made me aware of it, and next thing you know, it's arriving on the truck and it's here in my backyard. Paid around £3,600 for it, which is pretty cheap for a Mark IV Maxi and Highline spec. I think we'll save all of that in a second. It is finished in Starlight Blue, I believe, which is quite a fancy colour, without all of this muck that's on there. And as usual, before going ahead with any car purchase, I always obtain a full vehicle report, and for that I used Car Vertical, who also are the sponsors for today's video, so big thanks to them. I'm just going ahead and put up the CADDY's report so we can have a scroll through. It'll probably be on the screen now so you can have a look. At the start, it gives you an idea of your vehicle at a glance, so it says no issues with any mileage fraud. Can you imagine if this thing was clocked back? It'd be pretty annoying if it really was like 800k and it's now 490, but no, it is genuinely 490. No issues with any theft. And yeah, here's our first one. It said it's been damaged in the past. In some reports, I actually have seen the photos of the car at Savage auction. We haven't got that in this case, unfortunately. But it does tell us in April 2020, it was a Category N write-off, aka non-structural. I can kind of see what happened because the front of the van is quite tatty compared to the rest of it. Now, in addition to the accident, I did also notice that the report was telling me that the van had outstanding finance on it, which was a bit strange. Did some more digging into it, and all it was that it was stocking finance from when the van was in the trade. A lot of traders do use it, so it wasn't too much of a big deal, and I since have got it rectified, so it's all good. But yeah, make sure you do check out Car Vertical to prevent yourself getting screwed on any future purchases. A link to their website is down below, and they have given me a discount code, which is TRH. It'll save you 20% off your next report. But yeah, I think that's enough sitting down and talking. What we'll do now is we'll give you a full walk around the van visually, attempt to start it, and just go with the flow, really. Right, okay, so 2016 Volkswagen Caddy, also known as the Mark IV, is a 2-litre TDI 150 PS manual. It also is a Maxi, which means it's a long wheelbase equivalent. You can get the shorter one. This has a twin sliding door. It is also the commercial variant. You can get one with seats in the middle and slightly smaller mirrors. It also has the twin opening door rather than the tailgate, which I find much more useful for my needs. And yeah, that neatly brings us on to why I've even got a van in the first place. I thought with all the different projects we're doing now, and I'm always picking up parts and moving stuff around, it's about time I get something that I can just chuck everything into, even tools, etc. Yes, you can put a lot of stuff in a hatchback, but this is literally a complete box. So now you probably already noticed it from the shot there, but there's something pretty strange about this van. The condition does not add up to the mileage. It's genuinely one of the cleanest things I've ever bought, and that's no exaggeration. It's got that typical Mark V style key, but the Volkswagen badge is completely intact. There's no scratches on that whatsoever. Even the fob is mint. I've of course been storing random bits in here, like this spoiler off the RS3 and floor mats, but all of this stuff, these mats and everything under there, is all how it came, including those bits of carpet. So it looks like someone went to the effort of trying to soundproof it with all the driving that they were doing. None of this has any scratches on it, so I feel like it's not done any heavy duty work. Now this thing is also a Highline version, which is the highest spec you can get. It's got a very big badge here as well. It says C20 140 TDI, even though it's a 150 PS TDI. It's even got rear parking sensors, which is pretty cool. We've got the standard halogens. You can get the optional xenon headlights, which totally transform the front end. You can see here, this one's pretty condensed up. Pretty sure this thing had a knock from the front only, because the rest of it all pretty much lines up. But here the bumper has, well, the paint's just started to peel off, so you can see here. So it will need a front end respray, or maybe I change the colour entirely, we will see. But the interesting with this is it still actually has an MOT. I was a bit surprised to notice it the other day because I thought it'd long gone. It's still on there till mid-December. But yeah, this is easily the best part of the whole van, the driver's cabin. You're not going to believe the condition, but I'll just go ahead and show you it and you can make your own conclusions. Look at that seat. Does that look like it's done 500,000 miles? I still am surprised, even after all these months of just looking at it. It's like a completely brand new van in here. Literally the only wear on this whole interior is one, the trip button, of course. There's a little hole in the mat from where the driver's foot was resting, just one hole in the same place. That means it was just chilling there the whole time. And the steering wheel's got a slight few marks on it. It did even have a cover on there, but the rest of it is completely faultless. Got an assortment of air fresheners, all just as it came. 6-speed manual. Look, there's no wear on that either. And bear in mind, I haven't even cleaned this van. It's just how it arrived. Got aircon as well. I mean, this steering wheel itself is multifunction. It's very Mark 7-esque. That's what you get with the Mark 4 version. It's just a bit more modern in here. Got this infotainment screen here with sat-nav and DAB. Now, I did try to find out some information on who owned this van before me, and all I could find was a company name, which was on the V5. But unfortunately, that's not like a public website, so it's not like it's a business where you can ring them up, etc. It just gives me a company name. So yeah, if you know anyone who's had any experience with this van, or if you've ever seen it just flying around, let me know if you've got any information. Got the service book here, so we'll have a quick look through that. So here we go, genuine Volkswagen service history book. It said it had its first one at 4,500 miles in August 2017 from GCG SL Robinson. Did some digging on that place. They service tractors, so I'm sure they know their way around a van at least. Same again in 2018 at 10,000 miles. Then in June 2018 at 35,000 miles, it got serviced at Volkswagen Commercial Vans in Liverpool. Again, Volkswagen Van Centre at 60,000 miles. And in November 2018, it was already at 80,000 miles, and it says there Heslop's Garage. And that's a common theme now, because every service since then has been at Heslop's Garage. Did try ringing them, but I couldn't get through to them. 100,000, 121,000. It had an accident April 2020. There we go, see, good guess. April 2020, 146,000. Done another 340,000 miles since the accident. 172, 200, 227, 255, 283, 314 in Feb 21. A year after this accident, it's done 340,000 miles. 366, 394, 424 in September 21. 450 and 1121, nice little milestone there. And then the last service it had in the book, which was 478,000 miles in Jan of this year. Now the battery was of course flat from being sat around, so I did go ahead and recharge it, and I disconnected it so it didn't drain any further, so we'll connect it up now. There you go, 490,215. What a scene to see on your Speedo, and on a fairly modern Speedo as well. I have attempted to start this thing, and all that happens is it just cranks. It's not completely dead, and it may be something minor, but I'm no 2-litre TDI expert. When I initially did it, there was no codes as well, so it's all a bit baffling. But let's give it a go now that the battery's connected. Hopefully it has enough juice. Clutch down. See, it just does that constantly. I believe it is a common issue on these TDIs, and it could be a variety of different things. It is a CFHC engine code, but it's pretty similar to any other VAG application. Let's try and plug in the MAF, see what happens. Okay, let's give it a go now. Nah, it's not having it. Now I've got this VCDS cable, so we'll scan it now and see what codes it's trucking up. I've just plugged the MAF back in, and we've connected up the VCDS cable. I've just loaded it up because it's bringing up a bunch of battery errors, so we'll clear all of these. We'll try and start it again. Let's do another scan, see what it comes up with. Now it's showing here as a MAF coming up with a fault frequency of 254. The rest of them though look like Central Electronics, all of these ones. Multiple collision brake. Yeah, a lot of this stuff isn't really relevant to why it's not starting. There's nothing related to fueling or anything like that. I would have thought there's something wrong with the pump, the way it's not cranking. Yeah, I've got the fuel filter over here, which I did undo some of the screws to try and pull off, but this one here is rounded off, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. Now, one cool thing about these Caddy vans is the front end is basically a Mark 5 Golf in terms of the engine location and the way stuff fits. That's why you see a lot of people doing TFSI conversions. So if this engine is dead, there is a number of ideas we could explore to spice things up a bit. Okay folks, so now it's the next day, and no, you're not seeing incorrect. That is another Volkswagen Caddy pulling in. Yeah, look at these two beasts. Get the bonnet open. Now this particular van belongs to a good friend of mine, Tej. You will have seen him on the channel before. He's found me a few things over the years, the E60 M5, the 335i, even stuff like the 130. So safe to say he's very good at finding things. And he also made me aware of this beast. Initially, I never was going to get into a Mark 4 because of the prices. But here we are with a 500,000 mile van. Now, funny little thing about this is it actually pulled that into the backyard here initially. Got a clip of it, I'll throw on the screen. We had one of them poles that the AA used. So it was quite an interesting, fun day, that. And the reason why it's now back here again is he's giving me permission to swap over a few things, namely the MAF, even though we did unplug that and it still didn't make no difference. And also, crucially, I wanted to take it for a drive if that doesn't start, because I've not done any van driving impressions on the channel, so I thought it would be a bit of cool content to throw into this video. This is a 2-litre TDI, but it is the Blue Motion Tech version. So standard, I think they're 102 PS, but it has been tuned. So he's telling me it's around the 190 mark. But one of the crucial differences between the two is this is a DSG. Engine bays do look a bit different though, so we'll see if that even is the same part number, but we're here now, so it's worth a shot. Unplug this again. That comes off. I don't really think this is going to do anything, but it is what it is. All right. There is a MAF sensor right there. Screwdriver time today because I can't find the extension. Here's a MAF from the other caddy. Yep, the part numbers are the same. Let's give it a go. Plug you up all loosely. All right, let's get the battery connected back up. Yeah, all right, it is what it is. At least we gave it a go, and kind of knew this was going to be the outcome when it made no difference by unplugging the original one. That's the test you normally do, but it was worth doing regardless whilst this van's here. So I'll get this back together. I noticed that this has an extra duct here at the front. We'll take it out for a little drive and yeah, see what the van life is about. Right, okay, so we're finally out the cold and we're in the van. It's all nicely warmed up. Got the heated seats on as well. Definitely to look into getting that into mine. We're in a petrol station. It is the middle of the day, so the roads are nice and busy. It's not exactly going to be a, you know, a performance test or anything like that. Although this is actually quite a fast van, I will have you know. Around 190 horsepower. Just took it a dual carriageway. I was quite surprised. Teddy's always telling me how quick it is. And I have driven it on one occasion before, but I didn't really floor it too much, let's say. All right, let's pull out onto here. I feel like we're in an episode of Wheeler Dealers where they drive like a working and nice example of the project that they're doing. But yeah, CADDY 2-litre TDI DSG. I do like how efficient this box is. I'm not too sure if he's tuned it or not. They haven't got any paddles, not that anyone really cares about using paddles on these, but that's got some shove. Now we are going to try and get to the bottom of what's wrong with my van in the next video, hopefully. A workshop's more suited than my backyard in winter time. I mean, just look at the state of the weather right now. Fog has come out of nowhere. Sunsets are like 3:50 p.m. Not ideal, not ideal. Okay, got the POV cam in action on the caddy. Let's reverse this. Is this the first time I've ever driven a 2-litre TDI on this channel as well, let alone a van? It must be. Alright, let's launch it. I think it'll chirp. No, it's just pure grip. That's 60 already. We have got to, of course, account for the fact that maybe that 500 or 490,000 mile engine is officially dead. In that case, I'm probably going to look into doing an engine swap. I know some of you folks probably will be a bit disappointed by that. I am a bit disappointed myself with the fact that that's not reached the 500k milestone. But worst case, the chassis will still reach there, hopefully, because I am planning to keep that van for as long as possible. Because it's got all the mod cons inside like this does. You've got, I think you can get Apple CarPlay retrofitted to this because it already has MIB2 and App Connect, so I think you can get it coded in. This drives like a Golf basically for the most part. Yeah, you got a bit more weight at the back, but your seating position is very nice. I have noticed that the bulkhead does intrude with the legroom. So me, I'm around 6'3", so the driver's position is okay, but if you're in the passenger seat, your knees are basically touching the glove box. Remember, we still got a manual setting here. I've got so used to the Mark 8 where I haven't got a lever anymore. See, that's better. Downshift into second. You know what? This is alright on a country road. Oh, what a funny day. What a funny day. Got the Asda delivery van in front of us, setting the pace. Jeez, lorry carrying a tractor. Yeah, I'm definitely getting top trumped in terms of vehicle size here, aren't I? Even the truck in front of me. Alright, we're gonna go around this Asda delivery van, get the windows out. Let's chirp first. This thing's fast. The handling is a lot more direct than I would have thought. I can see why people like these caddies. I'll be honest, if there was a GTI in front of us, you'd have a tough time getting away. You can carry pretty much very close to the same amount of speed. Pulled itself around. I don't know what to say, to be honest. Just having a laugh, aren't we? This van's done 113,000 miles, so it's basically a fifth of that one. Believe me, this thing gets redlined every day, so I'm barely doing anything to it. But this is the route I bring a lot of cars on, like hot hatches and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm having just as much fun in this, or if not more, than some other cars I've brought here. There's slightly damp conditions as well. Leave it in third, get that torque around. Oh, it's pretty grippy. It's not understeering. You can feel the weight, of course, but it's not like spinning the outside wheel that I would expect it to do. And when you're just leaving it in third here, I just floored it. It's quite a bit of fun you can have at the speed limit. What's this on the road? A Mackey's. Look at that, tested the brakes as well. Still in third. Right, first. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The traction control's not working on this van. I think it's got like a speed sensor fault, because it's got a typical ABS traction and stop-start error. But he's just left it like that because he prefers drive around with traction off, because you can't disable it normally. Oh, look at EOS. Those who know, you know. Right, I think that's enough fun in Tej's van. That was our first ever 2-litre TDI impressions of the channel, and a drive in a caddy that actually works. I'm gonna go drop this back off to him now. We'll head home and finish the video off and basically conclude our thoughts for this introduction to the new project. Look at that torque. Right, okay, so we're now back at home sitting in a caddy that's not as quick as the one you just saw. Still, I'm genuinely surprised with what I experienced on them back roads. I thought speed is one thing, you can tune a van or a car or a 4x4 to be quick in a straight line, but it actually felt nice in the turns. But yeah, I think we'll end this one here anyway. If you did enjoy it, make sure you do drop a like on it. Also subscribe if you are new to the channel and you want to follow this build series. I've got a few other things going on, like the Mark AR build, which is behind the camera right now, so I'm pointing at it. That's going to be going stage 3, but I am looking forward to the variety of mods you can put on these. So yeah, let me know some ideas in the comments down below. But yeah, I'll stop talking now anyway. Look out for the next video in a few days time, and yeah, take care.